Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tek Torrent Podcast. I am Shinji, your host this week. This is episode number 48 of the year, I think. Maybe it's 47, not sure. Today, we got a fantastic show for you guys today. First of all, let me know how I sound, how I look, make sure the frame rate's good. I've been having some audio issues, so hopefully all that's been resolved and everything works. How's everyone doing today? Let's take a look at the chat. So we got Fixation 500, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining the live stream. We've got Efren from our Discord, and we also got Soul 7, and Soul 7, thank you for being a loyal follower. That's why you got that purple fish next to your name. All right, guys, let's get into it. So, for those of you that don't know, a few weeks ago, I think 2-3 weeks ago, we actually took apart this laptop, this very laptop right here, and we actually was able to take it apart and look inside and find out what was wrong with it. And of course we found out, well, the cooler itself is actually cracked. Yeah, that's right, folks. So the cooler was actually cracked in the sense that it had a hole in it right on the, actually right here, right where that goes. Here, let me show you. So literally right there, right where that section is, it was cracked, unfortunately. So it was literally right under the GPU heatsink right there. There was a hole there, actual crack. And because of that, well, the vapor chamber was no longer a vapor chamber. So it did not perform its cooling duties. Now, those of you that don't know, this is a laptop with a 3080 in it. It is a 17-inch Razer Blade Pro. And it's got a nice 3080 GPU limited at 100 watts, and it's got a, I think it's an i7. Yeah, it's got an i7, and I believe it is the 9th gen. Let me double check because I don't remember. Oh, it's the 10th gen. I just gypped myself by a whole generation. So it is the 10th gen i7, and it's a pretty decent laptop, works well. I've actually been thinking a lot about why this thing has failed, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. Let me just take a look at chat real quick and see what's going on. Make sure everything is working fine. Looks like we are good. Okay, sweet. No one's complaining or anything. So that means we got a good strong connection and everyone can hear me. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, essentially what happened was it got cracked, and well, so I got this around 2020, so it's about 2.5 years old at this point. I left it on its side, kind of like this. So I opened it up, and I left it like this while it was rendering things. What? We may never know, but it was very GPU intensive. And I think leaving it on its side like this caused the vapor chamber to not work correctly. So maybe this is not a good idea for your laptops. If you do want to leave it alone for an extended period of time, I think it's the best idea to leave it flat somehow and maybe have a cooling pad underneath it, because that way the vapor chamber is working correctly, because vapor chamber does need gravity to work right. So when it was on its side like this, I believe perhaps that the vapor chamber was not working completely correctly, and one part of the cooler overheated and warped or whatever. If you watched that episode a few weeks ago, you would notice that when I took the cooler off, there was a hiss. And that was the vapor chamber stuff coming out. So we did patch it all back up after a whole bunch of scrubbing and all that and put it back together. And this thing overheated almost instantly. You couldn't run a game or anything. It was hitting 90 degrees on idle. So hopefully we're going to fix that today. Hopefully we're going to fix that today. Well, we'll see how that goes. Who's texting me right now? Don't they know I'm streaming right now? Man, come on, guys. You know not to text me at this moment. Okay, so we're going to get right into it, guys. Real quick, before I move on, I'm going to talk to you about this cooler I just got. So this cooler I did order from AliExpress. You can see it right there. It is essentially the same thing that is in this laptop. As you can see, it's kind of dirty, right? It kind of looks like they made it and they let it sit on the shelf for a year. What's really nice is that it has all the thermal pads already installed, and there's thermal paste on it. Of course, we're going to scrape that thermal paste off, because knowing what I know, that thermal paste is probably from the olden days when they first made this thing, and it's probably no good. So we're gonna scrape that off, and we're gonna go ahead and use our really nice Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut. This is probably one of my favorite thermal pastes made in Germany, and I got the big boy tube because, you know, that's how I roll, guys. All right, if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing while I'm going through this process, feel free to drop it into the live chat. If you're watching this after the fact, well, thank you for joining us in hindsight. And, oh, I also did order fans, so we're going to see how difficult it is to put these fans in as well. These fans right here. So the reason why I got fans as well, it wasn't that much more expensive to get the original fans with the cooler and everything. I figured why not, the laptop's already open. These fans have been running for 2 years, almost 2 years straight. So we're gonna go ahead and replace those today as well. I'm hoping this stream won't go more than an hour, because if it does, I'll be very hungry. All right, so as usual, per TekShinji fashion, we're gonna get our gloves out. I'm gonna tie our hair back, because we don't wanna get hair in our products. And we're gonna get started. So unlike last time, I'm actually a little bit more prepared. Hopefully the camera battery doesn't die on me instantly. I did check that, and unfortunately I still have not found a solution for it. Let me just take a look at live chat real quick. Soul7 says, complaining you're still working on my laptop 17 Razer 10 Gen 3080. Complaining? Oh, complaining. Yeah, I'm kind of complaining. I mean, I'm almost 4 generations behind at this point, man. This thing's old. But hopefully after we put this cooler on, it'll be back to brand new, because that's the only problem it really had. All right, folks, let's get started. We're gonna get right on into it. Let's zoom back out so you guys can see what I'm doing. Go a little bit closer, about right there. Put the cooler over here. First step is disassembly. Gonna move this to right there. And I did adjust the camera stuff this week, so let me know if it's better or worse. Should be better. Go ahead and put these gloves on. And I actually do not like how big I am, so I'm gonna adjust that real quick. I look kinda big, so I'm gonna make myself tinier and less wide. All right, there we go. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. I'm blocking less of the view here. Zoom in a little bit more. A little too much. There we go. And I'm gonna do one of these, and we're gonna get the appropriate screwdriver to take this apart, because I quite frankly don't remember exactly which one it was. That feels loose. That might be it. So what's going on with you guys? Anything exciting this week? It is a holiday weekend in America, which is quite nice. I plan on getting a lot of yard work done. What about you guys? You guys have anything exciting going on this weekend? See what the weird thing is. I'm getting a feel for these sizes and can't tell really which one it actually is. They all feel almost like the right one, but not the right one. If that makes any sense. So let's take a look at this. This might be it, but also might not be it. I mean, what's the worst that'll happen? I strip it. And I'll use this one that's probably too small. Like the exact size I need is not here, which is kind of annoying. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and take this bottom cover off. Oh, before I continue, I should probably get my parts tray. Got my parts tray, that way we don't lose any screws. And make sure I can see my laptop as I'm doing this. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take all the bottom screws out of the bottom plate. I gotta say, some laptops, it requires you to do all sorts of crazy things to get the bottom cover off. I do like this laptop because it doesn't require anything too intense. It just comes off. There's no fuss. You don't have to, like, a lot of laptops have like a rivet, or not a rivet, like a pop rivet of some kind, and you actually got to like wiggle the bottom plate to get it out. And I really don't like those kinds because more likely than not, those pop rivets break. And when they break, well, it's not a common part to get really. So you can't really get it. It's hard to get. They don't really exist. All right. Some of these are pretty tight for some reason. I don't remember making them this tight because I wasn't sure if this was going to work. I do hope that this cooler works though. There's a chance that we put it back together and it still doesn't work. And if that's the case, well, I might just have to cut my losses and sell it as broken on eBay. Okay, so I think I took all the screws out. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws. I think those are all out. And looks like we are okay. So we're gonna go ahead and take this cover off. There we go, just like that. Of course, I'm gonna clean all the surfaces. I have no idea. Oh, that's a foam block. Okay. And of course, we got the good stuff right here. This stuff right here. This is really good for cleaning. Oh, you guys can't see me. Hold on. Tiny screen here. Yep, this stuff right here, guys. We're going to be using this to clean the parts of the laptop. What this is basically, it's called Spiritus. It's what is it? So it's 192 proof. It's basically almost pure ethyl alcohol, and it's really good for cleaning these type of parts on the laptop. And it's also technically safe for human consumption. Not that I would ever do it. I mean, it smells kind of pleasant. It literally smells like ethanol. Like ethanol fuel. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just trying to clean off some of the oils and such to kind of make this look a little bit cleaner. All right, so first things first, we're gonna take the cooler out, and then we're gonna take this these two fans out and replace them. We're gonna switch our bit out, so we know that this bit was the bit for that, and we're gonna need what is this? A Phillips. We're gonna need a Phillips bit. Seems like the right one. And so there's a screw here and 8 screws here, and that's all that holds this laptop together. Not much. Okay, so I'm gonna try to separate these screws so they're not all together like that. I'm gonna move these over so I know those goes with that bit, and then I'm gonna take the rest off. And these are spring loaded. All these 4 screws are spring loaded, like hold downs on the cooler, on the losing my words here. The die, the actual die for the GPU or CPU. Okay. All right, I undid all the screws on them, and I'm just gonna collect these over here so we don't lose them. Interestingly enough, the new one comes with 1 screw with the spring. Only one though. Why? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna slowly give this a little wiggle. All right, we're gonna need a little bit of a force here to get this off. So I'm gonna get the special pry tool. And I did actually find them this time. I've actually spent a lot of time and effort to reorganize the back of the studio. For those of you who have noticed, it does look slightly different. Because it is different. I moved everything around. Okay. That was it. I just broke it free. And I'm going to try to get these out without cutting any wires or anything. Here's the old cooler. You can see that disruption right there. you can kind of see the problem it was having. Oh, how come I can't zoom anymore? Oh, I was already zoomed in. Yep. So that area right there was having an issue. And that was what was causing all of our problems. Just as a sanity check, because there's a chance that this is the wrong cooler, I'm gonna get the new cooler and double check against it to make sure it looks at least somewhat the same or similar. So how do they do this? It's kind of a weird configuration that they taped it like that. So they taped it there, then they taped it here. I'm doing my best to not contact the cooler when I'm cutting, by the way. Alright. Here's a new cooler. This is actually my first time taking it out of the package. And there it is. Looks kind of dirty for a new cooler, doesn't it? It is black like the old one. The black painted fins right here, which is nice. Ooh, kind of a bit of a bow to it. I wonder if that's normal. We might have to bend this back into shape. It's kind of bowed if you look carefully. It literally looks like it's been bent. There we go. You can kind of see it right there. So we'll compare that to the old cooler and see if it's also like that. I'm really hoping that I didn't get the wrong cooler though. So we got the 4 holes, slots right here, thermal pad, thermal pad, thermal pad, thermal pad. Oh, there's a piece. So a piece is still on the laptop. We'll have to get that out. Yep, this, I would say for all intents and purposes, this is the same damn thing. So it's good to know. All right, I will go ahead and put this back. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the laptop first. I'm gonna prepare it for the arrival of the new cooler. Let me look at the old cooler. So looking at the old cooler, it is not warped. So here is the new one. You can see the new one is significantly kind of warped. So we're gonna have to probably give that a slight bend to get it back in shape. And if it breaks during that process, well, I'll just tell them that they shipped me a bad one. Okay, let's take a look at chat. I haven't looked in a while. Let's see what's going on in chat here. Take a couple of swigs. It might make more excitement. LMO. No, dude, this stuff tastes like sorry, let me. This stuff tastes like gasoline, like straight kerosene. It smells nice to me at least, but it smells like ethanol. Soul 7s might be natural for more contact when tightening down. Yeah, it might be. You're talking about the bend, right? Hopefully that is the case and it's not something else. All right, let's take a look at how we're gonna get this thing apart. So what I'm gonna do right now is just do some general cleaning. As we know, we're gonna use a dry towel first to get most of it off first. And then we're gonna go in with the alcohol wipe. And that's gonna get the remnants. Don't always go in with the wet one because it's gonna make a mess. Always go in dry. Get most of the thermal compound off. And then use a wet one to clean the rest of it up. I'm a little worried because the actual chip for the GPU has a little bit of a rough surface, so I'm slightly worried that will cause issues. I'm hoping it won't though. And of course, I will be cleaning like all the little pieces here, all the memory modules and stuff. And I'm just gonna continuously take off all this thermal paste. Now you technically don't need to clean this part because, well, it's totally not necessary. I'm just doing it for good measure. In fact, I think they recommend you don't clean this part because there's a bunch of SMs right here, little tiny pieces of circuitry that you could break off And you definitely don't want to do that. They're real tiny things. All right, I got a good majority of it off there, and I'm going to take a toothbrush and some ethyl alcohol. Pour some in the cap. Not over the computer, obviously. Now, the problem with ethyl alcohol is that it's anhydrogenous, meaning that it'll absorb water. So this alcohol has probably absorbed a lot of water, and it's probably going to dry with like a... If you ever use isopropyl alcohol and it's like left like a residue, that's because it's absorbed water. That's why it does that. So I'm just kind of massaging it away from these SMs. I'm using the bristles of my toothbrush to get it out. Because these are pretty soft. I'm not as concerned with these breaking off the SMs. I am kind of making a mess too, so I better be diligent in cleaning this up after I'm done. So this one's pretty clean, so I'm going to go ahead and just give that a nice wipe. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I'll do a final cleaning on this later, but right now I'm just trying to get these SMs cleaned off. Yeah, I'm not going to drink the ethyl alcohol here, the spiritus. It might definitely make it more exciting, but also I don't want to be drunk while I'm doing this. I definitely do not want to be cleaning while operating under the influence here. At least not this stuff. That would be bad, okay? That would be not ideal. Yeah, I am making quite a bit of a mess, so I better be careful. I need to clean the rest of this computer up for sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take a little dab of ethyl alcohol onto the fabric directly, and I'm going to clean with my tip of my finger all the areas that are in contact with the thermal pads, like all the memory modules and stuff, and give them a good scrub down. Any silicone oil that is left over, this will clean up most of that. By the way, Timo, I'm surprised to see you here. It's like late over there in your area. It's gotta be like what, like super early in the morning at this point. I do appreciate you being here, man, but I can't imagine how tired you are right now. So yeah, man, I do appreciate you being here. I just want to call that out. So if you guys don't know, Timo lives in a place, I'm not gonna dox him, but he lives in a place that's almost 7 or 8 hours offset from the United States. Oh wow, this thermal pad is cake. It's just falling apart as I'm taking it off. It's literally just crumbling as I'm removing it. It's not even squishy anymore. It's literally just turning into dust. All right, I'm gonna need to put a little bit more pressure on this MOSFET. Wow, yeah, that's not a good thermal pad. I'm actually going to flip this over and try to get all those pieces out. Okay, yep, that definitely helped. I'm going to get more alcohol because, you know, this is the only thing that makes me feel good at night. Drinking a bottle. No, I'm joking, I don't. Actually, so I went on a trip to Philadelphia last weekend and had a good time. Had some really good food. Got to see cool sights. I actually went to the Longwood Gardens, and congratulations to Soul7 for figuring out where I was. I did dox myself a tiny bit, so I made it a little bit easier than not. But yeah, he was actually able to figure out where I was, so he's going to get a prize of some kind. If you also want to be involved and get prizes and stuff for figuring out where I am, make sure you follow me on Twitter, guys. Otherwise, you won't have any opportunity. Alright, I think I am almost satisfied with how clean this is. And we're not going to put the cooler on yet because we're going to take the fans out. We're going to replace them. Let's take a look at chat real quick. Go pour this. Oh, I'm not going to pour this back in because that's used alcohol. Okay, let's take a look at the live stream. Okay, it's been a while since I read chat, so I'm just going to catch up on everything that's going on here. Let's see what's going on. Soul 7 says it's probably some cooked on residue from old paste. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have been reading this like as I was doing it. We got Technus Connor. Hey, TekShinji. Hey, TekShinji. And make sure it's tough paper tissue. Glad I'm catching a live stream while avoiding my own G32A unboxing video. Haha. What's a G32A? I'm not sure what that is. Tech Connor has some really cool snail things. Hey, I like those. Those are like close to my colors too. Let me know what that is. I'm very curious. Join our Discord, link in the description below, and let me know, man. Only 99 only cheapest, but we'll try what you suggest. Yeah, Technus Godness. Wait, am I Technus Connor? Yeah, this screen is so small. I gotta fix this eventually. Let's see. Soft old toothbrush. No. So, talk about first world problems. So, I went looking for I bought a whole pack of like regular manual cheap brushes. I couldn't find them. So I had to break open my expensive like Philips Sonicare like replacement brush to do this, because this is the only toothbrush I really had that I could use for this. So, you know, we like to use only expensive things here at the TekShinji YouTube channel. Let's see. Nah, he brushes his teeth with thermal paste. Ha! Hey, you know what? Actually, so thermal paste, actually maybe not. I was gonna say, so toothpaste has like a sand almost type in it. It's abrasive, but not so much, and that's why it's good for brushing your teeth. Thermal paste really doesn't have much of that. It's mostly like, I don't know, like ceramics and stuff like that. So it might not be good for brushing my teeth. I was gonna say it might be good, but I don't think it is. I'm from way down under, Australia, mate. Yeah, some Arctic silver, perhaps liquid metal. No, I'm not doing liquid metal. So I do have liquid metal. I do, okay? I'm not afraid of it. The thing is, Technus Connor. So basically, this is the old cooler, right? It broke. There's a hole in it actually, and it's a whole nother thing, but it was on the last live stream, 2 live streams ago. Sorry, it was 2 weeks ago. So I ordered a new one, okay? And this is the new one, and I'm replacing the cooler because this one's broken. There's basically a hole in the vapor chamber, and all the stuff came out that actually supposed to doing all the phase change vapor stuff. Yeah, Cryonaut, that's what I'm using, man. Bradzel waits for ticking package to arrive in the mail. Nope, none of that. First time, obviously, here, guys. So from Melbourne. Oh, hey, nice. Let me ask you a question. What time is it over there in Australia? Also, since you're from Melbourne, are you going to go to PAX Australia this year? That's all I'm asking you. I'm just asking if you're going. Samsung 1080p monitor. Mom had a baby toothbrushes. Open die using Tim. Open die using Tim. No, this doesn't. So these on a laptop, there is no IHS integrated heat spreader that protects the chips. There is no IHS on most laptops. The only time, so let me zoom in here. The only time I've seen an IHS protecting the dies are when they are on a socketable chip on a laptop, which there's a few Alienwares like that. That's not very common. Usually these things are soldered into the motherboard, so they're non-upgradable, non-removable. So there's no IHS. So yeah, it is basically an open die, as you would say. Let's see here. What else we got going on? 10 p.m. Oh yeah, so it is kind of late. Oh, 10 p.m. and maybe a.m. Sunday. Wait, no, it's not Sunday yet. Are you guys a day ahead already? Oh yeah, it'll be Sunday soon. Okay, so let's get these fans off. So I got both fans here. These are allegedly OEM replacements. So that goes right there. And this one, oh, actually you guys can't see. Let me switch that over. Let me zoom out a tiny bit. I'm gonna replace the battery in this thing. It's not really being reliable. All right. There we go. So I'm just verifying that they look the same and are gonna work for me. Looks like they will. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace them one at a time. Because, you know, why not? I figured it was like only an extra $30 for these fans. So why not? I'm gonna put the screws right there and make sure I don't lose them. So this one actually has a sticker over it that will self-destroy when you poke it. But that's okay, because this is not a warranty void sticker, and that is technically not enforceable in the United States. It just lets the technician know that these fans have been removed if this laptop were ever to go in for service. That's all it is. So according to this, there's 2 screws that hold this on and a micro connector of some kind. So I'm gonna be very gentle and ginger. There's a cable here. So the cable is routed over, under, and over. So I'm gonna keep that in mind when I put this back. Okay, now I don't actually know how this connector comes off, so I'm going to use a small bit of force and see if it just pops off. Solid, just like that. Okay, let's take a look at chat before we move on to the next fan. Tech Connor, very, very jealous. Nice tools. The new one. You know, if this was like a perfect world, I'd probably dust this off before I put it back together, but I'm not all that concerned about it. So put this in like that. Okay, so it goes like that. And the cable was bent in that orientation, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same. Make sure that the right side gets plugged in. And I'm going to take the fan out and go ahead and plug this in. This kind of goes in right on top. Sorry if I'm being quiet, guys. I'm just very focused and concentrated. And I think that's it. It's in. Okay. Cable comes out right there. And then the cable is pushed down just like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and screw this in, and then I'm going to put these other cables on the right, route them in correctly. Three-quarters of the way. Find the hole. There we go. I usually don't have a problem finding the hole, but you know, everyone has their rough days. Okay. Take a look at chat. Oh, we got a bunch of new people I haven't seen before. We got oh no, this guy's been here before. Django Blue. Hi Shinji. Hi EVB. What's EVB? That's someone here? Not sure. Let's see. Take a look at chat real quick. Hello. Yeah, hello to the guys that are just joining us right now. If you're just joining us like right this second, this is a Razer Blade Pro 17 with a 3080 GPU and a i7 10th generation CPU. We are basically replacing the fans and replacing the CPU cooler. The actual CPU and GPU cooler. A few weeks ago, if you watched that live stream, is when I took this apart to diagnose the problem. And that's when we found out the cooler was broken. So for a tune of $312, bought a new one. It came here in less than 2 weeks, so we're gonna go ahead and get that installed today. And hopefully we don't have any issues. Hopefully. Okay, let's get back at it, guys. So the cables go in right here. I'm going to put these Wi-Fi cables in first. And I think it goes underneath that piece. Let me take a look. So according to that, yeah, it goes underneath the fan. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. Now these radio cables are basically miniature coaxials, so you kind of want to be careful on how much pressure you put on them. Oh, it looks like it's not that bad. Okay, there we go. So put the Wi-Fi cables in nicely. And we're gonna go ahead and put this other cable, which I'm not sure what this is, because I thought the one on the other side, this must be a display cable of some kind. So one of them must be power. Yeah, because it's got, these are display connectors. One of them must be power and one of them must be actual video feed. Because I don't know why else they would be there like that. Okay, fans are installed. Nice and tight. That one's a little bit loose for some reason. Nope, it's not. It's just the mounting points are poor. Put these tweezers away so I don't poke anything. My nice technician grade tweezers. Close this up. And we're going to give this a flip and just shake it to make sure there's no junk inside. We're going to do a thorough cleaning on everything and then we're going to put the new cooler on. Because I've been putting my arm on and getting my oils on it. You don't want human oils on your computer, guys. You want it to be as clean as possible. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Put some oil. Oil? That's not oil. This is ethyl alcohol. Alright, so what you do is put it on your finger and you give the swirl method. And the swirl method is pretty effective. If you're married, you will know what this is. If you're not, then you will soon learn after you do get married. It's a pretty effective method. Works almost every time, especially when things are being resistant. Give it a quick swirl in like a come here motion as you're really rubbing down the dies. It really does help remove all the stuff and actually can lead to a very pleasant experience when it comes to cleaning your computer. So just doing the swirl method on that, cleaning off this is the chipset right over here. That's the chipset. Cleaning off the chipset as well and its associated components. These things over here, these MOSFETs. So I would say everything has been nicely cleaned. I don't see anything of concern really. We're gonna get some thermal paste and give it a good pasting. So this is the Cryonaut Thermal Grizzly, right here. I just have the big boy tube. Usually don't see it in tubes this big. What I'm gonna do is actually, since we're not gonna use this anymore, I'm gonna take the old cooler and use a spot on it to mix it. Because it's probably kind of dried out by now, actually. So we'll just get off any crap. I mean, sorry, not dried out. It's probably turned into water. So I'm just gonna put a bunch right there. Oh, actually, this is okay. It's not. It hasn't separated. It looks okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my spatula. I'm gonna do a nice application on the die. We're just gonna paint it, give it a nice paint job. Now, we all have different opinions on what is too little or too much. In my case, I've never had a situation where I put too little on. Sorry, I never had a situation where I put too little where it actually affected the performance of the GPU. So I always go for almost too much. That way it's like guaranteed to be fine. So this is actually the smaller one is actually the CPU, believe it or not. The bigger one is the GPU. And basically, I just don't want to see any dye. If I see dye, that means there's not enough there. And I'm gonna rub it in a little bit more. You don't need to use a swirl method on this. A normal method of application should be more than enough. It's a little bit messy, but then again, this is not something anyone's going to see. And the most important part is you cover the dye completely. So there's that corner. All right, so that dye is completely covered. And I'm just applying it here and making sure that pushing some of that over. That dye is completely covered now. And now the chipset, I'm gonna just give this a quick wipe because I see I must have put my arm on it earlier. We're just gonna give this chipset, actually wait, the chipset, I think the chipset has its own thermal pad. Yeah, the chipset has its own thermal pad. It does not need anything. You know, I'll just put a little, actually, you know what? No, I'm not. Okay, so I just wiped off the spatula. And I'm gonna put it away for future use. And we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this old cooler and clean up our work area to make sure that we're not colliding with anything. Okay, let's take a look at the chat before we continue. Transition back to me. Not much going on at the moment. All right, we're gonna go right back to the computer then. Okay, so again, this thing's a little bit warped, so I'm just gonna try to convince it to go the other way. Oh shoot. That was a little too much. I hope that didn't break it. I hope I didn't just break the cooler. That would be really unfortunate. Well, we'll find out when we put it in. So there's like a little bit of a divot here for some reason. So you can kind of see. Might have bent it too much. Hopefully nothing's broken. We're going to go ahead and clean this thermal paste off because that is the old stuff. Just gonna take it off. Oh, it's actually like gooey. It's not all dried out like I thought it would be. Besides, if this cooler does end up being broken because I just broke it, well, that was going to happen anyway when I put it in the computer, in my opinion. So it would have been a problem anyway that we would have to have dealt with. Okay. Taking off the old thermal paste and trying to avoid touching any of the pads. So you really don't want to touch the pads when you're doing this. I'm just going to scrape it off. It's a little gooey, but it's also kind of not. So I'm kind of glad we're doing this. I would make this analogous to like dried out Play-Doh. The best way I could describe it. And again, I'm trying not to disturb the thermal pads as I'm doing this. I'm going to take a look at the old cooler and see if it's like that. What if the old cooler has a divot there? Nope, it does not. A little bit concerning. Just a tiny bit now. We'll find out when we put this thing back together if it thermal throttles or not, I guess. Alright, so those areas are relatively clean, but I'm going to give this another swab and get it super clean. That way we have good contact. Again, using the swirl method. There, now there's no oils on it. It's completely clean. Gonna give another pass on the clean side. All right, looks good to me. Take a look at chat before we install this. Let's see. Django Blue, when it comes to that situation, laptop assembly, you gotta be in the Goldfingers Club. As in, like, the Gold Touch? The Midas Touch? I'm not sure. Razzle New, usually warm up the die before applying thermal paste, especially when applying thermal grizzly. I'm not saying that you shouldn't apply it without heating the die. Oh yeah, so I used to do that a while back. Then as I've done this for so long, I found that it's like not necessary at all, so I don't anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and add this cooler and see what happens. Hopefully this laptop isn't broken because I put a divot here. All right, cables are routed correctly. They're not going to get chopped up. Final check looks good. So this goes in like that. Then this one goes in right there. Some cables right there I gotta avoid. Whoa. Gotta be careful now. Okay. And I gotta go under that. Alright, I think I almost cleared it. I am caught on something. So that side's going in. What am I getting caught on over here? So I'm gonna take this out and just double check. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this side in first because it keeps getting caught. There we go. Make sure I'm careful about these VGA cables. Okay, there we go. This side's in. And then same thing. Whoa, slip. So this cooler is slightly bent. That's why I'm having such difficulty getting it in here. Yeah, it's definitely bent. So I'm getting caught on something, so I'm going to go ahead and take this out and just examine where the damage is. Is it this fin? Is it literally just that fin? No cables are touching it. It's almost like it's too short. So it like goes into this cavity, kind of like that. And this goes into that cavity, kind of like that. But there is something that's not kosher. Maybe it just drops in, because I remember the other one came out at an angle. So let me just try dropping it in like that. Put it in, then I'll go to the side. And same thing over here. I'll just kind of lower it. Oh, there we go. Maybe that was the trick. Okay, that was the trick. So I was taking this out wrong the whole time. And I'm just going to put these Wi-Fi cables in its place because they're supposed to be below the cooler. There we go. And these cables. Alright, and I'm just kind of pushing it into the right direction, which is that way. Okay. All the holes line up. It's very good news. Just kind of turning it and squeezing it to make sure we got good contact. All right, let's get this thing back together before something else happens. That was a little bit concerning. I'm gonna put one of these in first. Now these are springed screws, so you can't really over torque them. You could strip them, but you can't really over torque them. They make sure a specific amount of pressure is applied. And you can see I'm going into like a delta pattern, going not in a circle, but like back and forth, like an X pattern more accurately. Then I'm going to put this one over here because I know those are straight and aligned. Backwards and forward. That one's nice and tight. Again, guys, I'm not going all the way down. I'm going about 3/4 of the way. And then I'm going to tighten them up in a same star pattern, X pattern. Just like when you torque lug nuts on a wheel, on a car. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and check the live chat. Okay, let's see. Wow, look at all that gray. Gray? What do you mean gray? Oh, you mean like the amount of thermal paste I put on this thing? Fixation 500 says at least he's has hair. Efra. Fixation 500, I like to warm up the die before insertion. Fixation. So sad. The curve was natural. They say so. Fixation 500, it's okay if the cables touch, if they still have socks on. Oh no, hope it don't break again. How do you change a wheel on a car? Okay, fine. Spare tire. Changing over the rim and wheel. The rim and wheel, sorry. Front and back, baby side, go to side, then I let my Alpine play pumping new stuff. But nah. Is that a song? Is that a song or something? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and torque this down. So like I said, a little bit of concern is these 2 points right there. You can kind of see divots from what had to be bent. So hopefully we didn't lose any coolant or anything like that. Hopefully everything is still okay. Hopefully we don't have any nonsense to deal with. Hopefully everything is absolutely fine. Okay, so now that I've put everything down, I like to go in a circle to just make sure everything has been turned. And I'm not using a crazy ton of torque. I'm just making sure that the screws won't move. I mean, you can see how small the driver is I'm using. It's not that big. All right. We are installed and we are good to go. We're not cutting any of our Wi-Fi cables. I'm actually going to reroute that a little bit because I don't like how that looks. Actually going to push this in a tiny bit because this is technically above the chassis line. And I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. So we're going to go ahead and reroute that just a tiny bit. So what I'm doing is taking these Wi-Fi cables and basically kind of splitting them to make sure that they move on over. By the way, guys, if you are in our Discord, and if you're not in the Discord, where are you? Why are you not? It is linked in the description below. I should be playing some Call of Duty tonight, so if you guys are on, come join the Discord. We usually have a game night right after. And I'm just pushing these cables down to make sure they go into their place. There we go. I think that'll be fine. There we go. There. That way, if we have any impact with the chassis, it's not going to be doing too much to the cables themselves. I'm actually going to do that. Put them on the outside. Oh, maybe that's the trick there. Maybe. I don't think it'll make much of a bit difference if I go outside that. So basically what I did, and I'm just making sure I'm not cross-threading these screws. Some of them do not go in straight. And if you try to go in straight, they will fight back with a vengeance and let you know that they don't like it. Some of them were just not born straight. They weren't tapped straight. They were tapped crooked, and that's just the way it is. You know, we can't fight it, guys. Some screws just come out that way, and as much as you don't want them to be straight, or you don't want them to be crooked, sometimes you just don't have that option. That's just how the screws are, and you have to accept them for the path that they take, even if it's a path that you don't agree with, because we're all open to our own opinions here. You might be going, why are you dancing on the laptop, Shinji? That is to get rid of any stress if one screw is held up on something for no reason. Okay, ready to tighten them down. Concerns me is like some of these are going in real easy and some of these are not. And I'm just doing the star pattern yet again, making sure that I'm not tightening one side too much, and that the torque is getting evenly applied to the whole chassis and not just one side. It's quite important when it comes to technician, general assembly and things. You don't want potential bad situation. Alright, so now that I got them all down, I'm just going to go in a circle to make sure that they are sufficiently tight. And this type of situation, you want to be careful because you don't want to strip or damage the head. It's a really tiny Torx, and you want to be careful that you don't strip it, because if you strip one of these, you can have a heck of a time fixing it. All right, we are totally installed. Everything's back to normal. Well, we'll see if it is. We're gonna go ahead and transition over. And I'm going to press the power button. Why is there a thermal paste in my laptop, bro? It's not even like the good kind. All right, I'm going to press the power button. We got light. No fan spin yet. So we'll have to check that out. Okay. So it is working, which is excellent news. Let's take a look. So, according to the straw poll, guys, you guys don't seem to have much confidence in my skills. It's kind of sad, man. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at the chat. The curve was an intentional. Fixation 500. We have no faith. LOL. The curve was intentional. Efren says, I don't like laptops. Same as car. Rip out basic everything, put new super expensive part. Yeah, exactly. F1 like that. You don't watch 11 F1 Timo. Oh, you mean F1 racing? Yep. Marcos is tomorrow? What's that? Guess what was on the third channel in race weekend? Third channel was Russian Mafia. Django Blue. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like the straw poll. Broken AF is the question, and the options we have picked: as of right now, if you're still watching right now, guys, make sure you vote on that straw poll. I will actually give that a second before I check it. I'm going to go ahead and start this laptop up and see if we're overheating at all. I don't... Uh-oh. I don't hear any fans. Oh, we're not plugged into power. That might have something to do with it. I'm going to run hardware info. When it's not plugged in, it's like on low performance mode or something. And what I'm checking for is temperatures. That's what I'm vastly concerned about. Sensors only, non-commercial use. Yes, I know. Okay, so I'm letting hardware info start up. So hopefully that gives us some good information. All right, CPU temperature. Ooh, that looks good to me. 46 degrees. But what we really care about is the GPU temperature, because that's the thing that was causing issues earlier. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this bigger for you guys to see. I'm gonna do one of these. See if I can do top down. I'm gonna zoom in. Wrong way. Now maybe I could do one of these and you guys can look right there. Yeah, you can't. So you can see right now the GPU temperature is like okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. Uh-oh. Why we got 0 on GPU? Everything's zeroed out. What's going on? Why is there no current temperature reading? The computer's still working. Hold on, guys. This is a weird issue. Yeah, the CPU package is showing a temperature, but the GPU is 0 on everything. Okay. I'm gonna get the power supply for this laptop, and then we're gonna plug it in, and then that's gonna go to its full power, so we'll see how that works. And we're gonna give it a thermal throttling load. But right now, it is looking good without power. But that's kind of hot for no power, so hopefully we don't have those kind of issues. I'll plug it into my handy dandy workbench. Got the power brick. This is one of them fancy 200 something watt power bricks. Go ahead, plug it in. All right, laptop is plugged into main power. And I'm just gonna get a piece of wood and elevate the back so it can breathe. Okay, I can hear the fans running. Good sign. I'm gonna close hardware info and restart it. I can feel heat coming off the back. That's a good sign. All right, I'm gonna run CPU Power Max. Transition here. Okay, so currently CPU is at 57 degrees. What's the GPU at? Why are we getting all these zeros on the GPU? It's weird. Check chat before I move on, guys. Try rendering now, or Prime 95. Prime 95 takes some programming, so I'm just gonna actually run a burn-in test. So okay, now we got GPU temperatures. It's just laggy. We're in the 40s, which is nice. Okay, all right, hold on. Let me download the new hardware info because it doesn't seem to like having the old one. So give me a second, guys. This is kind of annoying. So let me install the newest one. Portable. Okay, so I just downloaded the portable hardware info. Just a moment. Trust me, I am actually doing something. I'm not just standing here, guys. I'm trying to get this damn thing over here. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my desktop. Well, one really good sign is that the CPU fans aren't going at maximum, because that was a sign of thermal throttling I had earlier. Fans would just go to max and stay there because it wasn't able to cool down the computer correctly. So I'm running the newest version of hardware info. So we're gonna do sensors only, start it, and hopefully this gives me some frickin' numbers on my GPU temps here. Okay, let's go down to GPU. Yes, we got some GPU temps now. It's just slow to update. Okay, we're gonna run CPU Power Max. We're gonna do AVX on the CPU, 1 minute. Start. CPU temperature. So we're at 56 degrees. We're drawing roughly 40 watts. It's not a lot. What's going on here? We were plugged into power. Oh, are we on like, hold on. I think NVIDIA Optimus or whatever. On Razer Blade, on Razer laptops, you can actually adjust the, yeah, hold on. Razer Synapse is not running. So it might be on like low performance mode. Thought I had that installed on here. Razer Synapse. Oh, I don't want to have to do all that. All right, I'm just going to start the freaking GPU test. That's a GPU test. And actually, I need to stop it right this second. We're about to have a problem. You hear that beeping, guys? That's because I overloaded my UPS. This entire studio is running on that UPS. So I need to plug this into a non-backed up outlet. Give me a second. I'm gonna plug this into just main power in the house. The reason why the whole studio is on the UPS is that way if the power ever went out, well, you guys won't be in the dark. I'm actually going to go to the camera and make sure that we have plenty of battery still. We don't. We got 14%. All right, let me... actually, we're going to go ahead and end this stream soon then, because it seems to be working. So let me try this one more time. We're going to start CPU and start GPU. And we'll see how hot this damn thing gets. All right, GPU is currently at 52 degrees. We're drawing 100 watts on the GPU. Fans have not spun up at all yet. Oh man, this thing's quiet. I think it worked. Yeah, I think it worked, man. I think we're good. Yeah, we're drawing 180 watts from the wall, 61 degrees on the GPU, butter. And the CPU is at a chilly 68. Oh yeah, no issue whatsoever. Definitely some heat coming out of there though. So the highest we went on the GPU appears to be around the, yeah, so 64 degrees was highest we hit on the GPU. That is really impressive for a laptop. I like that. All right. You know what we need to do now, guys, right? We need to run Modern Warfare and see how well it does. Run a real game. Well, guys, you have joined me on this journey over almost a month where we diagnosed the problem, replaced the cooler, and I got my nice laptop back again and it's working. So it's really good to hear. Really good, really good. Let's take a look at chat real quick, guys. And we'll go ahead and end this stream. Let's take a look at chat. Special features. I'm waiting for the blue screen. Oh, come on. You had that little faith. Come on. I knew it was good. Oh, come on, man. I'm a professional, all right? I know what I'm doing. Mostly. Is that a blowtorch in the background? Talking about this thing? Yes, this is a real blowtorch. Oh, I locked it. Unlock. That, my friend, is fire. That is a real blowtorch. You might ask why I have it. Well, you'll find out soon. Let's see. Is that a blowtorch by Efron? Yes, but it is not a 14K anymore. It's only 200. Yeah, I know, right? Efron says Shinji Studio look a bit like garage with tools and toolbox drawer there. Yeah. That's kind of the theme I'm trying to go for, is have toolboxes back here and stuff. Like, I kind of want it to look like a shop. Kind of going away from the studio look a little bit, only because I'm always needing tools in the studio, like all the time. So why not integrate something I need into the studio that I use all the time? Efren says, whoa, 180. My desktop takes 75 now without monitor, which is 20. Oh, Shinji is happy. Hey, look, I am happy, man. This thing is, it's not broken. How would you feel if you had something that cost $3 grand, basically be broken, and now it works again? I might play Warzone on this tonight, see how it goes. I'll play it with you guys. Because if I could play Warzone away from here at home with this laptop, yeah, I'll play one game on it. If you guys are around, come join me. I'll be on in probably about 10 minutes after the stream ends. So I'm really happy that this thing is working. So let's take a look at the poll. So we got 33% on totally fixed, okay? We got 50% of you said slightly better. You of little faith. Okay, just to be honest though, I also had not much faith, but I'm happy that thing is working, that it's fixed. Even though we did bend the cooler, this thing is actually performing pretty decently. I think it's in fact better than it was before, at least in my opinion. I think it's actually better than it was before, so which is nice. All right, guys, if you have any other final questions for me, let me know in the live chat below. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and close out this stream. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'll shoot this or something later on to kind of talk about my frustrations. So I'm really glad that this worked out and everything works. Like it kind of makes me happy. Yes, Shinji is happy that his laptop works. I'm really happy that my laptop works quite a bit. I was worried that I'd have a $3,000 paperweight that would never work again. So I am not going to be doing any rendering on this laptop anytime soon. So who knows? Maybe I'll sell it and use that money to buy the newest and greatest not Razer laptop. I love Razer laptops. I have two of them right here, but they are very expensive for the performance you get. Oh, Golden Wolf, how you doing, man? Dude, we're at the end of the stream. I'm so sorry, but basically, Golden Wolf, so what we did, we replaced the fans in this laptop that's right in front of me. We replaced the cooler, the entire dang thing, because this one is actually broken. This is the old one. So we replaced the cooler. The laptop is working great. I pumped 180 watts into this thing, and the GPU never hit more than 64. And for reference, this room is at 75 degrees right now. So, I mean, I think that's a win. I think that's a win. We fixed this laptop. It's no longer a $3,000 paperweight, so I'm really happy about it. Probably could only sell it for $1,000 right now, maybe. It does have a 3080 in it and i7 10th generation, which is kind of nice. Efren says, can blowtorch fix broken vapor chamber? I mean, it can. Like, if I were to, like, you know, solder it or something, but you got to remember, the vapor chamber, after it gets compromised, the internals are no longer in a sterile, controlled environment. I put frickin', you know, barkeeper's friend on that thing. I put a bunch of crap on it, so it's probably not good. Maybe I'll put it on eBay as used broken parts or something. Just repad and paste. Yeah, I also did do a repadding because the new cooler came with new pads on it. And I put some nice thermal grizzly cryonaut in there. So this thing is running like a kitten. It makes me really happy. Like, honestly, that's working so well. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. We've been going for quite a bit now. What's it been? Hour and 30 minutes, apparently. So that's not bad for a stream. I'm going to try to play a game on this laptop, play some Warzone. It's actually downloading right now, so it might take a little bit. Might play on the desktop, wait till this thing gets up to spec. But if you guys are around, make sure you join us in the Discord, and we can play some Warzone tonight, guys. All right, well, thank you to everyone that joined today. Thank you for sticking with me through this journey of trying to get this dang thing fixed. And I do appreciate you guys all being here. You're the reason why I continue. If you are watching this after the fact, make sure you get subscribed and hit that like button and join us in our Discord. Well, guys, we'll see you same bad time, same bad channel next week. Thank you to everyone that joined. See you later.